Since his NHL debut, which occurred over a decade ago, Robert Bortuzzo has taken pride in playing an old-school, physical brand of hockey. "I like to play with an intensity and a competitive fire," Bortuzzo says. "Frankly, if I'm not playing with it, then my game isn't where it can be. Yeah, at times there's an edge or a snap or a wire crossed, but we try to keep it on the straight and narrow, kind of walking that line," Bortuzzo once told the St. Louis Dispatch. And just as he said, Bortuzzo, for season upon season, has been straddling the line of legality, meaning that while playing with an edge and being that heart and soul type of player, number 41 has had his fair share of bouts with player safety. In this video, we're going to go over several times that Bortuzzo ventured into gray areas and made some questionable plays. And with that, here are the top 9 jerk moments from Robert Bortuzzo. Starting with one of the more recent incidents on this list, we'll be backtracking slightly to a regular season meeting between the St. Louis Blues and the Nashville Predators. Early in the first period, while Nashville was on the man advantage, Bortuzzo seemed eager to head to the box himself as he began to plot things out from the blue line. Bortuzzo, who sees Captain Roman JOSI cutting through the center of the ice, decides to stick his knee out with purpose in the defenseman's path. As you would hope, really, play was whistled down and Bortuzzo was dealt a minor penalty for kneeing his opponents. Thankfully for JOSI, he seemed to be okay as he remained on ice as Nashville went on the 5-3 man advantage. Over time, Bortuzzo has perfected the art of getting by with a questionable play every so often, and it was during a contest in the Lone Star State against Dallas that he did just that. During the remaining minutes of the opening frame of play, things quickly became heated between the two teams. After play was halted, Bortuzzo decided to stir things up by nonchalantly skating by the Stars captain and nailing him with the butt end of his stick. Tyler Seguin, who observed the altercation firsthand, uncharacteristically went after Bortuzzo in Benn's defense. Ben, who appeared to be in pain, skated back to the bench hunched over. While some may say that there was some embellishment, Bortuzzo was still made to answer for his actions in-game after he was challenged by Travis Moen to duke it out at the start of the second period. Another jerk moment that happened this season took place in the recently assembled Climate Pledge Arena. While the Kraken were attempting zone entry in the second period, Bortuzzo, who appeared to be out of position, made it a point to catch up to the play as he should. But instead of playing within the rules and simply defending, Bortuzzo kept gaining speed until he plowed into the trailer Ryan Donato. Donato then was sideswiped as he was attempting a shot in the blue zone. Remarkably though, Donato appeared to be okay after immediately gathering himself. Bortuzzo, for his actions, was dealt a minor penalty for charging. No supplemental discipline was dealt to the perpetrator thereafter. As I mentioned before, Bortuzzo has been no stranger to making controversial hits at any stage of his NHL career. With that being said, this one took place during his days as a Pittsburgh Penguin, but unlike previous opponents that we've covered so far, Jerry D'Amigo didn't skate away unscathed. Back in 2013, when PPG Paints Arena was known as Consol Energy Center, tensions began flaring in the final period. Forward Jerry D'Amigo, who was making his way through the neutral zone, was viciously upended by Bortuzzo, who appeared to acquaint his shoulder with D'Amigo's head. Now obviously there have been and will be different opinions about this, but knowing Bortuzzo's lengthy track record, history, and the fact that Bortuzzo was dealt a minor penalty for an illegal check to the head are reasons why this made the list. Now as far as supplemental discipline is concerned, Bortuzzo was given a break after NHL Department of Player Safety ruled that there was head contact, but it was unavoidable. And yes, for this one, we're remaining in Pittsburgh. Except this time, Bortuzzo, instead of playing for the Penguins, was now facing them. Former teammates or not, Bortuzzo, in the first period of play, decided to target Evgeny Malkin, while the Penguins had the man advantage. Bortuzzo proceeded to cross-check Malkin in the ribs as Malkin was attempting to make something happen up front. Malkin fell to the ice immediately after and was injured due to a bruised rib. After officially being given the status of having an upper body injury due to Bortuzzo's antics, Malkin, who was asked about the cross-check, claimed that, in his opinion, the hit was dirty. Malkin elaborated, saying, quote, "No, I'm not surprised. He always plays like this. He's played so many games here. I know he can fight, and he can block shots. He's not like a goal-scorer defenseman. He's a tough defenseman. I was surprised by the hit. I didn't see him, and he came to my side. It should have been a penalty for sure." End quote. This hit that took place in Calgary looks similar in some regards to the D'Amigo collision that we went over. Opposition is cutting through the neutral zone, and Bortuzzo decides to throw a punishing hit on a lucky opponent. While the Penguins were up 2-0 in the third period, Bortuzzo decided to target Flames captain Mark Giordano. Giordano, who was making his way towards the Penguins' end, succumbed to the effects of a high hit that Bortuzzo decided to deal his way, as Bortuzzo could be shown launching himself into number 5 with force while acquainting his elbow with the defenseman's head. Giordano, who lost his helmet in the process, could be shown lying briefly incapacitated, as a scrum ensued simultaneously. In result of the hit, Bortuzzo was dealt a major penalty on the play. Now, if you really want to see what getting your wires crossed looks like, this is a perfect example coming up. Amid a scoreless game on Long Island, things began to get testy in the second period. Following a collision between Brock Nelson and one of his teammates, Bortuzzo, after observing, decided that Nelson deserved to be punished. Bortuzzo, who decided to give Nelson a cross-check, continued to repeatedly hit his opponent while he was down. Afterwards, Bortuzzo was given 2 minor penalties for cross-checking. Player safety also dealt the defenseman over a $3,000 fine for the same thing. In a similar type of situation, set up as the JOSI altercation this time, the Blues were yet again versing Nashville while also being a man down. And while a few minutes were gone in the first, while the two teams were battling for the puck, Bortuzzo decided to skate into Victor Arvidsson from behind and viciously shove him into the goalpost. Arvidsson, who was taken by surprise, could be shown hunched over in the Blues' net, only to get another shove by Bortuzzo while he was down. In result, Arvidsson suffered an injury on the play, and Bortuzzo received a 4-game suspension from the league for cross-checking. Back in the preseason of 2018, Bortuzzo yet again found himself in hot water with player safety, following his actions against the Washington Capitals. In the final frame of play, during a 4-on-4 situation, KEMPNY, who was waiting for some reinforcements in the blue zone, was instantly incapacitated by Bortuzzo after he passed the puck. Bortuzzo made it a point to extend his elbow out while going in for the hit on KEMPNY, while making sure that his opponent's head was the main point of contact. Following the game, NHL player safety suspended Bortuzzo for the remainder of the preseason, and also 1 regular season game for elbowing, as our findings stated that Bortuzzo could have made a clean hit in that instance, but chose not to. At that point in time, he was a repeat offender, and KEMPNY was also injured on the play.